my time speaking, I've never had that where the podium just moves to you. I could use this at my home at some point. Matt, thank you very much for the introduction. And I also want to thank you for hosting this conference and bringing everybody together. Everybody out here knows a lot more about quantum computing and quantum physics than I do. My relationship to this area of research began when I was the mayor of the city of Chicago. And the late Bob Zimmer, who was the president of the University of Chicago, came to me, and we worked on a project to secure funding from the federal government for a quantum computing, a quantum center in the University of Chicago. And I said then, when we secured the resources and broke ground on a new center, I don't know what quantum computing is, but I want to make sure that the city of Chicago leads in this effort. Because it's the most important piece of, if you had to think of areas of research, and you had to think of areas of technology, from AI to biotech, cancer research, quantum is one of the key 5 areas that, or energy resources, one of the key 5 areas that a country must lead on if it's going to stay economically competitive. Now, secondary thought, I don't buy into the private sector and the public sector. They're at loggerheads. The private sector succeeds when the public sector does primary research. You can see that across the country in the United States. You can see that in Silicon Valley. You can see it in Austin, Texas. You can see it in Boston, Massachusetts. You can see it in different parts of the country where primary industries have set up and built up and become powerful. One of the foundational pieces is a major university with major research funded by the United States government. And the private sector could not succeed without that kind of research. So the goal was to make the University of Chicago, the City of Chicago, a primary and premier center for quantum research. That, fast forward, after that was established, when I became ambassador, we were getting ready for the G7 and the visit, there was a decision, I was talking to both IBM and Google, and also the University of Chicago. I was having a lunch at that time with the president of the University of Tokyo. It was a preliminary lunch, and I said, please tell me some of the primary areas of research. He happened to mention their background and interest in both what they had and then building in the quantum area. That started the process so that the President of the United States and the Prime Minister announced $100 million over 10 years from IBM, $50 million over 5 years by Google, into the 2 universities in collaboration in the area of quantum computing, that specific area. After Camp David and the historic meeting between the United States, Japan, and Korea, we added Seoul National University to the consortium of doing research in quantum computing. It's a 5-year, 10-year project in primary and peer research to establish and make sure that the primary universities in the United States, in Japan, and in Korea lead in the area of quantum computing. As you all know, and you are more familiar with this than I am, China and the PRC are putting a lot of resources, $15 billion, towards quantum computing and quantum research. The United States can do that, but it's better to do it in collaboration with other major universities and other great scientists across the globe to make sure that we are also leading in the field. And when it comes to the protected technology and communication that quantum will provide, is to ensure that that's not being done by China and led by China. And our efforts is just for ourselves, for our good, but also to do it in a competitive way to make sure that a competitor, a strategic adversary, is not leading in one of the most important technologies in that field. But to fast forward also in one other area, when it came to the state visit by Prime Minister Kishida in April, we put on 2 different university tracks in the area of AI, separate field, between Carnegie Mellon and Keio University, about $60 million in its areas of AI research, and then the University of Washington in Seattle and Scuba University, another kind of $50 to $60 million, also in AI research. So this has been a primary focus of mine, but a primary focus of making sure that universities are collaborating, and not just in those areas of either AI or quantum computing in this area, but doing it on cutting-edge technology with the resources from the private sector to commercialize that research. The United States, as you know, it's not breaking news, has a very good ecosystem between research and universities and the commercialization of that research. I think one of the benefits that I see for the U.S.-Japan relationship is that kind of philosophy and outlook being also adopted here in Japan. One of the things that I have been impressed with as an ambassador is the quality of research being done here in Japan at the universities. And that research needs to be brought into the commercial area and the viability of an entrepreneurial, risk-taking type of culture that I think in collaboration with other universities can be adopted. I want to close here by thanking Matt for hosting these conferences both in the United States, Paris, and in Tokyo. The field, you guys will decide where this goes, how it goes, how fast we get there. But it's essential for our economic viability, and it's essential for our strategic competitiveness in the international community. And so I applaud all of you for being on the cutting edge of one of the most important areas of research to come. I do know, just as a casual reader, obviously there's a lot of fascination by AI, and it's sucking up a lot of energy. But the area of life sciences and the biotech, cancer research, alternative energy, energy resources, and quantum are equally valuable for the economic security for all of us and economic vitality that all of us depend on. Congratulations and thank you for this conference.